I can get hard off of pretty much anything.
My friend went to Indonesia after all the shit went down here. He left like a week ago, and he's
The goal is so you can.
that like released dopamine. Let me just do the equivalent of that with just this coffee. Probably sounded like I was hitting a bong.
I never know. Are we live? Wait, is
that red over there? And we're live.
Yeah. Is robots, machines, computers doing stuff?
Yeah, the robot chicken is recording. He went to Indonesia because his American doll hairs go a long way over there. And he's got a little chick over there, and he texts me and he's like, I might be getting married.
He might be getting married.
He's the kind of guy who's like, I'm fine being alone for the rest of my life. I've heard him say it. We got to get him on the podcast too, because he's kind of like a history buff and an expert on like how America is a terrible place to live and how he wants to live somewhere else.
So he's Donald Trump.
Tronald Dump. But he is potentially going to be married to let me get this right, Islamic woman? Would that be the right word? Or
right, because Islam is the religion.
Islam is the religion.
And then a Muslim is someone who practices Islam. So just as in like, I married a Christian woman.
Yeah.
Right. And she is it's Christianity. She's a Christian.
Yeah.
I guess you could say she's a Muslim. He's married a Muslim woman.
Islamic.
Yeah. She's Islamic.
She's a Muslim lady. And he says she's like the best. He's like,
dude, I've often thought about converting.
Dude.
But go on.
He was like, she's old fashioned.
Oh, yeah.
She believes that like a woman should serve the husband or take care. And I'm like,
yeah, baby.
I'm like, wow. You like those old fashioned principles? I'm like, dude, that means you're going to be also married for life. And you'll never be able to get out of that.
Dude, you can't even think cheat on this bitch.
Yeah,
right? You can't you can't even watch fucking.
And if it comes down to it, you got to plow the fields by yourself in order to get her fed. So you want that old fashioned principles? You got to play the old fashioned cards.
So it all sounds great, right? But if he's gonna go that route, he's got to do his part of the old
exactly. Yeah. He's the kind of proponent of like, American women, they're not women anymore; they're men. They've been masculinized because the society's kind of like, you have to get a job, become a CEO, and raise a family, and it's like. And then men in America are just like, dude, however you want. Yeah. And it's like, there's no roles anymore. And
roles are important.
I've got a lot of friends that are like, American women are not feminine anymore. And they're like, yeah, I just got to go to Indonesia and find a feminine woman. But what that means is she's just going to like, it's going to be less of a partnership and more of a, you're providing for her.
Right.
You know? So there's a give and take, yeah.
That's interesting.
It's just different.
So the way I see it is, one, is if you go to this old-fashioned kind of old-world relationship, men and women.
Back where the ankles made the decisions.
When the ankles were the fucking
the
motivator.
Dude, all you do if you're a lady, you lift up that ankle, and then the ring goes on the finger. That's how simple
he's just
it was.
rock hard the whole time.
Dude, he was rock hard when he was just seeing that pinky toe.
Imagine when I got it to over there. They're at the hookah lounge, fucking drinking green tea. He was like,
dude, men were animals back in the day.
Mariah, whatever her fucking name is, she's got big fucking ankles. And he's like, I kind of like them just nice and, like small.
Dainty
Because
I don't know.
I kind of like the pointy ones. Yeah. She's got fake ankles. You
know what big ankles means? She's good at plow or whatever.
She's good at plowing, yeah.
It's like a Borat quote. She's good at plow, big and good at plow, yes.
Nice ankles. She's very good foot race. She's good at foot race.
Oh, man.
But that's the thing.
Can churn butter.
It's
fucking.
It's not that you get in an old world relationship with like a feminine and an old school woman that you just like beat the shit out of her, you know? It's like, oh, because you're in charge and she serves you. That may be a part of it, but the thing is, the guy that's beating the shit out of his woman, he's also the guy that was also out in the field for fucking 94 hours, and he was just working and sweating. And then he came in and she was just like, oh, how are you? Fucking have been outside, you know what I mean? Like it's comes with it's the give and the take. So he's got to be working all the time, or he's got.
I wouldn't say they have to beat the shit out of the woman.
I mean, I just.
But you're saying the more aggressive, burly, it's not I'm just, the man of the house. You listen to my rules.
It's gonna come with the rest of it too.
I make the rules, and if you just it's like he's the ruler of that kingdom,
and but it comes with.
But
all
doesn't
the rest.
mean that they beat.
No, it doesn't mean that it's okay either.
I actually don't know. Like 300 years ago, was everyone just beating their wives?
I think everybody was beating each other and then beating off.
Dude, I bet you back then wives would beat the shit out of their husbands.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one thing.
Imagine like walking around and having been just beat up by your wife. Then you're just like with your friends, and they're like, "Oh,
you're talking about
Rosencrantz? What's the black eye you have there, laddie?" And you're just like my wife like literally punched me in the face, and you're like, "And my nuts, but you can't see those." And then you're just like, was in a bar fight.
Oh, Mr. Shining Koodle, how are you?
Oh, Mr. Doofenplants, Shining Koodle.
They're all Polish, Jewish, and German. All of them has nothing to do with brown people. Like,
oh man,
oh shit, that's. Also,
there were no brown people in the Middle Ages.
Yeah. So
isn't that kind of crazy though, in that point of history, when we look back in like the history books, it is all about white people?
Oh yeah.
Because the history is based off of like Europe. Yeah, it's just based off of
the Middle Ages was those times when they may have been just doing the same with slight upgrades over years, of course. Old ancient civilizations were still doing things the way they used to, just with slight upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah, slight upgrades.
Just with a little software update you get every 6 months.
Well, there was like India was like a super huge, massively developed.
It's my people, boy. Yeah. Asians.
Hey, shout out to our Indians.
Chinatown. Boy, yeah. I say a lot of horrible things about Asians, so I just want everyone to know that I care about Asians.
He is Asian.
I am Asian. I'm from Asia. I'm Asian as it gets. I got a small T-whacker, and I don't know where that word comes from.
No,
it's
you
a Texas
don't.
thing.
I've seen it.
Chinatown, bitches.
But in India, because it was like when Columbus was sailing to the New World, he was trying to get to India. Like everyone wanted to get to India because they had developments in their technology and their like astrology and their understanding of medicine that was beyond like Europeans.
Columbus. The
Europeans were just sitting around like, I say, what are we going to do with this peasant? Well, we could roast him and eat him tonight. Or we could cut his head off. Well, what if the peasants cut our heads off? Oh, that's a great idea. The French Revolution.
There's what?
The French Revolution was started by the fucking...
It was started by the elites. They were just a little too wine drunk or whatever they drank.
I'm tired of this excess life.
Let's give it a little adventure.
They were secretly all getting suicidal anyways because they were living the life of excess that all Americans live.
That's the utopia. It's not can't happen,
dude.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Hyberhoppenhole. What are you?
Hyberhoppenhobel.
Yeah, Hyberhoppenhobel. He's mixed between a Hufflepuff and a German.
That sounds like the Shire.
Yeah.
Like a hobbit.
It's like, what's going on with you?
He's got big feet and he got a lot of hair.
Going to start the French Revolution. That's what we're doing today. Adventure, son, go out. The call to adventure. Have you not listened to Renegade Supreme? It's like, oh, they knew about us back then. It's like, oh shit!
It was like a secret society back then that turned into the Freemasons.
Yeah.
They all like saluted each other. Renegade Supreme in the streets, and then like everyone was like, "That's way too obvious. Like it's Renegade and it's Supreme." It's like,
it's like,
what if we identified as Brick Masons?
Brick Masons, yeah.
Like just bricks and like mortar. That's like the lamest thing ever. But it's genius. It's so lame they'll never suspect.
They'll never know.
And the Freemasons were born.
And that's how life began. That's the origin of life, guys. If you didn't know it,
Once
you
upon
heard
a
it
time,
here.
there was a brick, and God laid the first brick, and the brick became man.
Yeah,
And he took that clay and he ripped the rib out, and then the woman.
I like to think that God was like a hardworking mason, like a masonry guy. Well, I like to think that he had like a long beard, like a really long beard, longer than Moses. And I like to think that he had like 2 different color eyes, and he had like really nice forearms.
And he's like black, but he has alopecia, so his skin's like whiter.
Just describing like a decent Michael Jackson. Like someone that
Alopecia is where you lose your hair.
you lose your hair.
That's vitiligo I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So he's like white.
She was an
and
albino.
black.
He was an albino.
He was an albino black man.
Yeah.
Which just means
Met
you're
a couple.
white.
Met a couple. It's weird because
An
albino black
man?
folks that I've met.
You've met a few,
Oh
really?
yeah. Dude, you know what's
shit.
crazy? Is they're whiter than white people. It's like crazy.
Yeah,
It's like
because they have 0 melanin.
they're so much cooler than white people being
Yeah.
black, but when they're white, they're even cooler than white people. It's like
I believe it,
It's like
100%.
it doesn't make. It's like white people are fucked. You know.
It's really interesting. It just comes down to a single molecule melanin. Like it's just that's the pigment. That's it.
And Michael Jackson had all those doctors trying to figure out what to do, and it's just like he didn't fucking know.
Did he? I heard he had vitiligo, right? Because he just like people were like he bleached his skin, but I heard
That's what I was
he was
heard.
losing.
He might have been losing.
I
it,
heard
too.
he because it was an autoimmune thing. He was
Bob Marley
losing-
was losing his too.
really.
Oh Bob Mobs. I wanted to say something
Damn,
about
this podcast is off the rails, and I'm loving it.
I wanted to say something about gender roles going off the rails.
Go.
I heard, you know how there's your friend was saying that women or people think that women in America they're not feminine, they don't have gender roles.
He's massively generalizing. First off,
Yeah.
because he's probably been with like maybe 10 women in his life.
Oh, so
you know,
he doesn't know.
or 20, but that's like 0.00001%
Right.
of America. So,
No, it's okay to generalize.
and half of them had penises that I heard later.
It's like all the women he was with were guys. It was very confusing. But so you know how there's a huge thing about gender neutrality, gender equality, gender fluidity. I was listening
if we want this podcast to pop off, we just talk about that every episode.
It's like
and we will be in the mainstream.
dicks and snatches are the same. Everyone's like, yeah, he loves everybody. Someone's gonna come and be like, you never said anything.
Pussy, dicks, nothing, both. It's all the same.
You can't actually.
We call it being a renegade.
Yeah, you can't put it into one.
Yeah, your gender is renegade.
You got a supreme gender.
Dude,
you're
we're-
the supreme gender, the renegade gender.
The renegade.
So I was listening to a comedian and he was talking about how lesbians are dykes because if you talk about like the feminine, there is in a lot of maybe lesbian role. I haven't been a lesbian in a long time, but
Yeah, me neither. I converted to
that-
being a straight man.
they have their kind of male and female roles.
Yeah.
I think to a degree.
Wait,
but
what?
Some of them.
If you're lesbian,
Yeah.
oh, like the more masculine,
Yeah,
woman
right.
and the less masculine.
So
woman?
some of them have, but some
Yeah,
of them are
yeah, yeah.
just both whatever, both dainty, both also
No,
masculine.
but most of the time you're right. There's like
They
a
have
role. There's
yeah.
like I've noticed that with my friends, my friends who are gay couples. All my gay couple friends, they have like one of them seems more masculine than the other.
Right.
And the more masculine meaning like they seem to
smoke cigarettes.
I don't know. It's like they may be bigger, or they might have
Take
like
bigger shits.
They might be better with like outdoors things, or they might
yeah.
like, they might be the one setting up the tent.
Yeah.
They might be the one who's solving problems rather than like
They're the ones getting the blowjob.
not solving problems, but like more someone that's in their head.
Yeah.
That's like I'm gonna like solve this in my head, whereas like the other one's more talkative, and it's not like I don't know. I guess like it's the feminine energy, you know.
Hell yeah.
In a way. Yeah. One of them's like one of them gives
So,
and one of them takes.
I think a lot of times
The dick.
the one
That's what I'm trying to say.
A lot of
and then
times-
with the woman, one of them puts the strap on.
what's interesting is I lived with 2 lesbian chicks. And there was one that was very short and dainty and into
You're gonna
makeup
be
and did
making
hair.
a lot of people jealous right
And the other one, so check it out. The other one was, so I lived with 2 lesbian chicks. This is back in 2008.
now. Dude, I was a
And-
sperm. Dude, I was like
I was
prepubescent.
I was what 19,
Oh, okay.
19 or 20,
Pretty young.
and one of them was a short, very kind of petite, but she had a big ass. Her and well, I won't say the names, but she
Dude, short, petite.
was a cosmetology person. She was into hair and makeup.
Dude, I loved outer space.
The she was.
Dude, I love Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That was unexpected. I like that. Yeah, I like outer space too. Which, by
I
the
love
way,
cosmology.
I am representing. I'm representing.
Good.
I represent.
Goodly.
We're in this Chinatown. I represent the OPA, the Outer Planets Alliance. I'm reading about it in my book. I'm reading about it in my book right now.
I'm all about Pluto. Let's just
Outer Planets Alliance.
Pluto.
This is the new frontier. So you're gonna have the Martian Navy, you'll have Earth, you'll have the Belters, and you'll have the OPA, the Outer Planets Alliance. I represent OPA, boy.
Dude, we
bag up, son. This is OPA out here. I'll tell you what's up.
we totally have ADD.
Yeah.
Like we totally have ADD.
No. I'm still on track. So the other lesbian, her girlfriend. She was a correctional officer at a prison.
Oh my god.
So
dude.
very feminine, very masculine.
Yeah.
Very feminine, very
Like,
and they had a strap on.
Yeah.
And they had a strap on. They always left food out. And by the way, girls
Wait. They left the strap on out next to food.
next to food. So I always knew it was them that set the food out. It wasn't the other roommates. They were the ones giving me
Like,
food.
didn't they fuck this food?
They were cool shit. Yeah, good girls. And
That's awesome.
The masculine one, she had a cat from her aunt, and it was a black cat named Maya. And Maya would like. Just fucking, even in the daylight, Maya would fucking be stealth. And at night, and she was like, make sure you lock your door, Tim. I was like, why? She said, Maya will fucking just lock it. And so, like, I came home one time and forgot to lock my door.
She like jump on you and shit?
Maya had jumped on my bed and pissed on it. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I cleaned it up. Right?
Dude, the cat piss, like that stuff, it's
the worst.
It stays for an eternity.
It's the worst. So then I was like, okay, I'm really locking my door. So I lock my door.
Dumb.
No shit, lock my door. It's like 2 a.m. and I fucking just go, whoo, Dracula style, just fucking up. Just fucking, what the fuck? I felt something. And I look down by my feet and I feel something. And then I just see come out of the nothingness of darkness, these 2 eyes. And Maya's just fucking, just sitting there. Oh, fuck. I freaked the fuck out. But yeah, so I had a good lesbian experience.
And she's like, I claimed that bed.
Maya would climb on the top of the door. Like, just the door would be halfway open and she would just be perched up. You'd be closing and open the door and the cat would still be on the door. Didn't make any sense. But yeah, the thing about lesbians.
Like, was it a cat lesbian too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she told me. She told me.
Lesbian cat.
Dude, to think that there's pussy that's lesbian is fucking insane.
That pussy was.
But I heard a comedian say that lesbians, or dykes as they call them, are just useless men. Like talentless, like not creative. And I always thought
I don't agree with that at all.
I think it's hilarious. I don't agree.
Dyke is supposed to be offensive, right?
But that's the idea. So to get back to the whole, there's that masculine idea of like there with even the lesbian culture and community. That adds to someone that, whether they know what they're talking about or not, there is a lot less feminine because there's for some reason I think everyone thinks masculinity is what runs the world, and so everyone's trying to be masculine when it's not even that big of a deal. Dude, T-Whackers suck,
dude. And okay, wait, there's a lot in there.
Get sucked.
So
Your turn.
So, is dyke supposed to be like dick, but for lesbians? I don't. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I thought it was an Irish term.
I've like never used that word before.
Really?
No, because I thought it was offensive.
It is offensive. That's why I use it.
So I use it. Okay. Well,
I use all offensive things.
I like lesbos, and especially if they're Presbyterian, Presbo lesbos.
Presbo lesbos,
dude. It fucking
dude.
But anyways, oh, dude, I was just gonna. What the fuck did you just end it on? You were like
masculine.
So the whole idea that masculinity runs the world, in my opinion, is just completely misunderstood.
In a masculine point of view.
Yes, men have been in the purported roles of power, and have the power in their decisions and such for a lot of history, right? For a lot of American history and society in general, seems to be that it's been run by men, right? But men are just actors. They're just playing these roles. Did you see our founding fathers, the wigs they wore,
I have AIDS.
And what are they acting? Who are they acting on behalf of? Woman. Because I just think, yeah, sure. I believe women should have equal rights and absolutely just as much power. Whatever. Agree to disagree. But I think there's this idea that it's masculinity that has the power, and I think it's the seductive feminine that controls the masculine.
Oh, absolutely.
Men are slaves to and they don't even realize that they are. They don't even it's just that's I don't know.
No, those are true words.
If any woman out there you're wondering what you're going to do with your life, just manipulate men.
Yeah, just fucking.
You could get whatever you want.
Just fucking throw that fucking hot.
I'm kidding.
That hot snatch out there, boy. It's like
no,
fishing.
it's not even that. It's the energy. Like you just throw out that loving, caring energy, dude. And then all the mommy issues come out.
That's true. It's kind of like if you're in the grocery store and the checkout lady. If it's fucking,
she's like a grandma, and she's like, "Oh, hi,
yeah,"
sweetie.
and you're just like, "Oh god,"
and you're like, "Do you need me to mop the floor or something?" Dude, that happened to me the other day.
Do you mop the floor? No, what?
No, similar experience. Like a few months back, I was walking along the road to the front street that's now burned down, and there was a lady she was like, "Oh, can you help me?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "This looks like my grandma," or she's like that energy was like my grandma, just super positive, but I'm a helpless woman, and you're a man, and my car broke down and it won't start, and I was like, okay, let me check it out, and I popped the hood for her. I just immediately did it was a short circuit in my brain. I couldn't it was just I have to help this lady.
Yeah.
Because that's in my man brain, it's a woman / elderly woman that needs help. I'm gonna stop everything I'm doing and help you because I know at the end of it there's gonna be some dopamine release in my brain. I'm gonna feel good about how I helped.
You're gonna get off from helping old ladies.
No,
hell yeah.
But,
dude.
I mean, you might, but
yeah, no, I will.
But you know what I'm saying. So I helped her. I was like, oh, I can't figure it out. Do you have I can give you a ride somewhere? And she's like, oh no. And then I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to go to the store and come back. And I don't have any jumper cables, but if you find someone with jumper cables, I could jump your car. And then I went and I ran into my friend who had a jump box. And it was just I brought her the box, jumped her car, all set to go. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. And I at the end of that, I was like, why did I, no one else was helping her. Why did I stop and help her? And it was all she was caring, gentle, and asked politely. And then something in my man brain was like,
you have to be there.
I would not have been able to walk away with a good conscience.
That's awesome.
I think, but that's in 99.999% of all men. And I don't know if modern day women know that.
Well, yeah, they are in charge.
Modern day women think more of, oh, I got to be like a man.
Yeah.
You need to help me, But once you become that, not become helpless, but you ask for help in a receiving manner, dude, men will just be like,
they'll do anything.
I'll do whatever you want as long as you smile at me.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Maybe that's a biological thing.
I think some of it's biological, some of it's cultural, some of it's societal, and then I think and some of it is, I guess sexual, but you could say that is under biological too, I guess.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I helped a lady change a tire on the highway. I was working at a Mexican restaurant. Shout out El Chico Cafe, Huntsville, Texas. Rex Bird, go fuck yourself. Love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
So
what he said.
But I worked there with a lot of good people, and we had a little good fun, and it was a great place. And a lady, we were right off the main highway, interstate, and she was there, broke down, and she needed a tire changed. And right across the other side of the highway, the traffic going the other direction was a discount tire. And she was like, I called them and they won't even send someone over. I was like, I can see them. I just need help. I'll pay. I'll buy a new tire. Like, help me get this on this donut so I can get there and I'll buy a new tire. Like, you can take my credit card over the phone. And they wouldn't do it. And so then my manager comes in. He used to call me Frotastic back then. And he said, Frotastic.
Do you have an afro?
My hair was really long and it was right before I was getting it done up for dreadlocks.
Okay.
And so back then my hair was, so I was like probably 19 or 20. It was around that same time. And I would just pick it and put it in a fro.
I gotcha.
And he said, hey man, you go out there and help this old lady. And I went out there and helped this lady and I changed the tire and everything. And she was, it made me feel so good. And she was so appreciative. She was like, my son, oh my gosh, you reminded me of my son, you know? And I think now she just put it on thick. But she goes, my son in a town right up the road, like 20 minutes away, owns she said, do you like to work out and stuff? I was like, yeah, I like to go to the gym sometimes. She goes, well, he owns a nutrition shop. And I'll give you $50 of credit or something like that. And then I forget how she did it, where she gave me a card or something, or she called it. But yeah, I was able to get $50 credit. And
wow,
it was really cool, but it was just an elderly lady that needed help.
Yeah.
And when he was like, hey, you going to go do this? And I was like, okay. Of course, at first I was like, oh, God.
Do you need some water?
Yeah. No, I'll just drink some more of this. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Every other word.
You know what I need? I need
to make
snuff.
sure you're good.
I need snuff.
Dude, you're scratching and shit.
Yeah, I need snuff. I need cigarettes.
But
I need real shit.
Were you done with that?
Yeah. It's interesting. You're right.
I think that like there's an underlying flow of energy between the feminine and the masculine that is what creates society and like an economy that we don't know about. But like all of that word of mouth stuff, like if there were no duality of these genders and this like flow of energy between, like, even though it's not sexual, there's a certain like flow of masculine and feminine energy whenever you're in the presence of any woman or any man. And like, oh, I help you out, you help me out. That kind of like energy is what makes the world go round. And that, like, those small little things, like, oh, I help you with your tire, oh, you help me with this nutrition shop. It's like that is the glue that holds society together, in my opinion. And
fuck yeah,
I think it's oftentimes it's not you're helping a man change his tire, because if I just feel like it would have went a little differently if you helped a man change his tire. Yeah, you probably have done that before, but you help him change his tire and he's just like, thanks bro, and then that's it. Yeah. But then he, like, for some reason there's that flow of energy and she's like, oh, take this, and then you take that and you go somewhere and then you're more likely to give again. You're like, oh, take this, and then someone's like, take this, and it's like this flow of giving, you know? It's like a domino effect.
Fuck yeah.
But I think it often like
it's
often flows between
the masculine and feminine, like that.
I guess they're, yeah.
That flow it's important. It's not even about masculine and feminine.
It's energy. It's not about sex.
Yeah,
because I think actually I have, because I had this experience recently where I was in a supermarket checking out. The guy in front of me was either homeless or not doing so well, you know.
Gross.
Looked like it. And he was got all this stuff and they're like, it's this much money, and he's like, oh shoot, like I don't have that. Oh. And I was like, don't worry, bro, I got you, like, you know, one aloha, we're all family here. And he was like, thank you. And I was like, I felt really good about it, you know? And it wasn't like, you need this. It was like, no, I got you, bro. And then I was at a place getting food one day, a few days ago, and some bro came up to me and he's like, oh, shoot, I got 2 of these chili plates and I only wanted 1. Can I give this to you? And I was like, yeah, man, for sure. And I accepted it. And it was like, you kind of feel like a lady when that happens to you. You know, you're like, oh, yeah. Like, you thought of me?
Yeah.
You know? But it's not a lady. It's just that's feminine energy, which is receiving energy.
Right.
Which men absolutely have to have.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to, or else you would die.
Well, that's that. Back to that idea I mentioned a several podcasts ago.
We're at like 20.
Yeah, we have like 30
I think this is 7, actually.
I was listening to Jordan Peterson talk about this idea of man, the original man that God made, whatever origin story it is, like the first human being, but in this idea of Adam, that Adam was this duality of like masculine and feminine energies and spiritual energies and physical energies. And then he created Adam, and Adam walked around the garden and things were great, but they weren't perfect yet. And then he realized that Adam needed a companion. So then he put Adam to sleep, right? As the story goes. And he takes a rib out and he creates Eve. So he takes the feminine energy and sexual and spiritual energy out of Adam and then creates that. So he separates it. And so this is this idea that we need both, right? And you need both the masculine and the feminine in this idea of like the 1, 2, 3, and then you have a kid, right? And so it's always us trying to get back to that perfection, and you have to have the feminine.
So you're saying that women make this world perfect?
Yes, absolutely. Did you hear that, baby? Did you hear that, wife?
I agree. I agree.
What did you say? Good. Yeah, buddy, I'm getting late.
Dude, the handcuffs come off. Or they go on. Yeah. They go on, dude.
Yeah, I'm kinky, boy.
Fucking just.
Yeah, I'll jerk into a palm tree or a washer. I'll jerk into a fucking.
Jerking it to nature is like the best in the world, dude.
Dude, I'll jerk it to
dude, Mother Nature will take it.
A chipmunk, bro. I'll jerk
all
it
right, you're going too far.
Acorn.
We need to stay not canceled. And you need to stay out of prison so we can keep this podcast going.
I'll go back to prison. I'll go back. I gotta see my amigos.
You're like fucking one of Voldemort's like you're licking your tongue. I'll do anything.
Yes.
It's hot, dude. I'm sweating in this powder.
Yeah, that's why I took mine off.
Powder puff girl.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girl. Well, what do you want to talk about today?
Oh, are we live? Are we live? Renegade Supreme. We're live.
We're live
on a Thursday.
Coming at you live from the butthole.
So,
well, I guess we're talking about gender.
We are talking about gender. I think we can take gender, and I think maybe we could kind of segue into...
Let's talk about the chromosomes.
The chromosomes?
So women are XX, men are XY.
All right, so men are the ones that give the coloration?
I don't know, but we're so dumb. I just wanted to say that. XX, for women, I don't know if this is true or how this works. Are they replication? Are the two X's the same?
Oh, is it the same
Is it a
X's?
copy?
Oh, I don't know this. We are dumb. I don't fucking know this.
I don't know.
Dude, so...
But you could say that's kind of like... No, I don't know. I just realized that neither of us are geneticists or whatever.
No, okay, let's try to factor this out.
I have a brother who's done a lot of research in genetics, so we'll have to get him on the podcast sometime.
No. I'm sure we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
Let me give it a stab.
Let me just...
So
we got this. Hold on, let's really focus. I got it.
Yeah. So
the X
is
a letter in the alphabet.
Is that you're way off.
and the Y, the X and the Y are both letters in the word xylophone.
Oh yeah.
And so women are kind of like
men. You mean men? Men are xylophones.
Shit, men are xylophones. You just bang them.
Yeah. And women are
double X's, which means they're like strong alcohol.
Yeah, 2X. Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
So
this is making me tired.
Think about it like
all this thinking, all this focusing.
Think about it like this: men have to have the masculine and feminine energy in them. They have to have both, and that's why they're XY. And in this idea that like, if you want to go biblical,
I think women have to have masculine energy though.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why they need extra though. They need that extra X. They needed that additional. They needed that.
I don't get
it. It's not. They don't just need it. It's Anyway,
are you talking about penis? I don't know what's going on.
So I think we can make a segue from the gender stuff and the feminine, the roles and all that good
To
stuff.
trees.
To trees. Yeah.
Have we
Because
veered
trees,
far from nature?
in nature and in plants, there is a lot of times a male and a female, but trees
Yes.
have a whole different.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, trees have a whole different. And I have gifted this. I didn't do anything, but there's a really good book about. Well, I was gonna say like they should just see the books, and then not mention them, and then I pointed to it, and then so I act like I never did. Because that Oprah stuff I was talking about
Oprah. I love Oprah.
the Outer Planet Alliance I was talking about, it's in the book I'm reading right there. It's one of the anyways, but I gifted this book to Sean. It's one of the best books I've ever read, and it's about trees. So
And the book title is
The Overstory.
Dun Dun Dun. I want a book about the understory as well, like all about taints.
I was wondering, is he going to go sexual? And you did. And that's why this is awesome.
The taint of earth.
The taint
the
of earth.
understory, which is the soil.
It's just Africa. No, because they have the desert. They have that bad desert over there. Or Arizona. They're both A words. Arizona.
If there's a taint of earth, it's America. Let's be honest.
That's an A word, so I'll take it.
It's stinky. It's smelly. It's dry. We've screwed over the farmland.
Yeah. So in nature, Sean, take it. Tell us about trees and nature and
nature.
the xylophone in the ground
it's
or whatever.
It's pretty neat. So yeah, if you bury a xylophone, you get a woman.
You get a woman.
No, you get a man. I'm sorry, XY man. So plants have sexes. There's female and male plants. So it's interesting. Why would different genders evolve in the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, right? It is a plant kingdom and an animal kingdom. Yeah. And then I wonder also, do fungi have sexes? Or I don't think bacteria have sexes. I think bacteria asexually reproduce. But the
I think
plants,
bacteria has an attitude. That's why it's always fucking shit up.
But so plants, like why have female and male plants? And I think the female and male energies are something that are beyond life forms. I think it's something that exists in the ethers of the universe. The within the cosmos, you can see these kind of two energies in different manifestations, maybe within the stars and the planets and the space in between, but this energy seems to be there already, masculine and feminine, not necessarily genders, but the energies, because I think there's plenty of women who are very masculine and plenty of men who are very feminine, and those energies doesn't really always correlate with your sex that you're, necessarily born with. But why? Why do they exist? That's what I want to know. Why do genders exist? And I think I have an idea, but I want to throw that to you.
Okay. So why is it that there's the two I don't want to say
plants,
they're opposites. Yeah, but why? Because we do have asexual like organisms and things. So
Right.
if it can be done that way, then why?
Well, I know, like,
Why? Well, okay. The first answer is one, why not? And I know that's a vague thing, but it's like, why not? Because
it's fun.
maybe, yeah, it's fun. But maybe in that why not, it's this idea of a challenge, to differentiate. I was looking for like adventure, all the things like we've talked about, play. Like maybe it is that life, because if you have, let's say, all these different origin stories for life, I think some Native American stories talk about on the back of a turtle and they come out, there's a hole that's opened up, or coming from the sea, the Big Bang, like evolution, all these things. It's all this story, but at some point it breaks away and it separates. And I think separation is important, and being able to have two versus one, that's the idea. Like you can't continue with one. Like one person doesn't continue. And I think maybe right? So I think the separation, it's about differentiation. So it's why not? It's because things are boring, like you said. And so
I'm fucking loving this.
Yeah, so it just has to go that way. Well, I guess it doesn't have to. And then maybe
it's just more fun that it does.
Yeah. In life,
let's mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, mix it up. Yeah.
We can't just have penises everywhere.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that would suck. They'd get sucked, but...
They get sucked, but it'd be like, this is not fun.
After 2 days, everyone's like, can we
get like...
something else?
Something else?
Yeah, I need something.
Well, in nature, I know sex is all about genetic diversity. So plants...
So diversity, yeah.
Yeah, diversity. It's the same thing you're saying, though. Yeah. It's let's mix it up. And then the diversity leads to evolution. And it's the mix-up of genes that causes, in theory, because it's still a theory of evolution, like it's not a law, it's not proven, because you pretty much can't prove evolution.
Yeah,
you'd have to have a scientist that lived a bazillion years.
Yeah.
But the idea is that the genetic diversity between male and female come together, and it creates an offspring that is better, or over millions of years better. But you say it's about the difference. It's about splitting things up. It's about mixing it up. And that can, like, philosophically, can go back to just simple duality. Positive and negative. Good and bad, I don't believe, are part of duality. Good and bad, I think, are a whole other category. It's a construct we've made. But flows of energy, negative and positive, like in a battery, this duality existed at the start of the known universe, and from there we had to have male and female energies. If you just look at like an atom, you have protons, neutrons, and electrons, and those have charges. And so if things have charges,
electrons are negative.
Electrons are negative and protons are positive, but the point is they're different. You could literally have switched those at some point, and you could have called electrons protons and protons electrons. It doesn't matter. The fact is that there's this different energy, and there's neutrons just taking up space. We all know those Jimmy Neutrons around here. They just take up space. They don't do nothing.
Again, white people,
like those people on unemployment. Those people on unemployment.
Yeah, fucking yeah. I'm on unemployment, bitches. What's up with it? West Side.
But I think it goes back to basic physics, and we are a manifestation of basic physics, and not only does it seem like it's to mix things up, it's to diversify the experience of life and to make it more interesting, but I think it's essential. It must be essential for existence to even exist. Like for this chair to be here and this table and you and me as bodies, there has to be feminine and masculine forces inside our bodies that are moving and flowing and relating to the bigger masculine and feminine energies. But it is a human concept, but I think it's more than human concept. It's a plant concept. It's a vertebrate concept, because all vertebrates have feminine and masculine come together to produce offspring, right? All vertebrates, like snakes and
I'm pretty sure
that's all there is. That's the whole animal kingdom. Snakes. We're all snakes.
I thought you said vertical breads. I was like, vertebrates?
Invertebrates. Inbreeds.
In vertical breads. Yes, with what you're saying, it's there. It has to mix it up, but that's how it's working. And why is it that way? Maybe the diversity is key. Well, I think we did it. We just kind of covered that and said it. The diversity is key to like the continuation of life. There is no diversity, right? Because life, what was the whole thing? It's like out of the Big Bang, something fucking even more.
There is the split.
Right.
And that.
So it's like this, like if you have a divine all-knowing entity like God, And it's like, well, then if he is everything and is and always has been, what's the point of creating? Well, he needed some diversity, right? And he wanted love, but he is enough.
Experience the creation.
Yeah, he's enough love for himself. God is, he's divine.
Yeah.
Right? But look at all the myths, like, so that diversity for the continuation of life, my answer to that is why is for the continuation of life, it must be diverse. Why does it must be diverse? Stop asking questions because I can't answer them all. But so now that we have that with plants and stuff, do you have any favorite plants or favorite trees? And the other night at the meeting, I just have to say this because it made me think of a tree joke. It was our friend from the factory that was speaking at that community meeting. You were asking?
Who?
Kaika. Remember?
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was him. Because the uncle that I go talk to, that's his son. And then there's two other guys.
That's Ikaika's son?
No, that's the
Ikaika
uncle.
is his son.
Yeah, his son.
Ikaika's a fucking bro, dude. I love that guy.
He's good. You know he's an archaeologist?
No.
I just found that out. At the meeting, dude. He's an archaeologist.
Dude, he's a man of so many talents.
Yeah, he went to college school, learn place. And
dude, he's got such a powerful energy, it intimidates me whenever I see him.
The oldest, and his two brothers that are both.
And he's related to Pate?
Cousins.
Cousins, okay.
So his two
related
younger brothers are much bigger than he is. And it's just funny because I didn't know. I knew his other two brothers, but I didn't even know that they were brothers. And then I didn't know that I already had met their father.
Yeah.
Point being is, we're talking about trees. He had the joke, this is a Kamada tree. Kamada to ground. That's what I remembered. That's why I brought his name up, since we're talking about trees.
I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, do you have any favorite trees?
Favorite trees?
Could we talk about cacao trees?
Dude, I hate chocolate.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, trees. Well, I wanted to say
because trees
I kind of had something I wanted to say before this.
Go ahead.
Because I'm wondering, what if humanity is going into a direction where we are all either non-gendered or both male and female? Like, let's say it just happens to be like, as we evolve, like we become a balance of both the masculine and feminine energies. Even if a world like that were to exist, we'd still need the two. Because as soon as you got rid of the two, there would be no flow of energy.
Right. There'd be a mutiny. There'd be unrest.
No, I think there would be eternal rest. Like in the worst way.
Oh shit!
There would just be a dullness. There would be a lethargy, because it's this pulling apart that makes us want to come together.
Yeah,
it's like a rubber band. It's like if we're already together and everything's already good and we're all the same and we're all men and women at the same time, and it's like we'll just be all sitting here and being like,
yeah. Dude, if it's all man women, like man woman, I'm fucking everybody.
Dude,
I'm fucking everybody.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What if you could just flip a switch in the future? You're like,
like, not actually me.
That's actually what's happening right now.
I'm not talking about me, baby. Not me. I'm just saying, like, theoretical me. What?
Well, I guess in the future we'll be able to like plug into something and you'll just be able to play as an avatar, dude.
An avatar?
Yeah, in like a game, and you could be like, I'm a woman now.
Yeah, and then you start fucking people in the avatar. They did a fucking Black Mirror episode about that.
Really?
Fucking yeah, the guy plugs in to the game, like virtual reality thing, and he's playing his best friend or something like that. And what happens is,
oh wow,
is one of them is a female character, and then but like you're connected to the virtual reality where like you're actually there. So they start fucking in the game, and then it's like now he's in love with his fucking And I think they use military guys just to make a statement, a political statement. All I'm saying is that everybody's man, woman. I want to see some titties. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, so there would be an eternal rest, and it wouldn't be a positive thing.
Or we would have to have that inner energy difference within ourselves, I'd say. Like it just, you couldn't get rid of it. You'd have to.
But it sounds like that utopia world, like that utopian society that everyone is
like an alien civilization. I could see it. Like everyone's male and female, and everyone's like looks the same. All the races have merged into like one where it's like you're slightly tan, and it's like everyone's like blah, 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 and you're just like,
That's why in all the alien movies, that's why the aliens are always trying to like.
They all look the same.
Well, yeah, and they're always trying to attack somebody because they ain't got nothing better to do. They already done fucked everybody and fucked each other and then fucked where they live and fucked their robot machines. So now, because that utopian society, what we know from history and what we know from books and what we know from the hobo on the side of the street is that utopian society cannot sustain itself because it's at that rest. It's at that resting point. And so then the energies, and so then there's no chaos, right?
Right.
And then when you bring the chaos back to it, it's like nobody understands it because there's not that proper flow of energy. And so then the chaos ensues and it's just like, then it implodes and it fucking destroys itself. And then you got to start over. And then you got to plant a new tree on top of that society. I mean, what kind of tree are you going to plant? Plant a pine tree?
Okay, I got you. I do like a good mahogany. Like mahogany wood is kind of one of my favorite like wood tones. But in terms of plants,
I like a white pine.
dude, I love the smell of pine trees or like Douglas fir. Like Christmas trees. They
white pine.
They got me. Yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
Yeah,
I ain't falling into that trap.
Oh, white pine's really nice. Fucking racist!
White pine's actually stronger than
the black pine. I didn't even think there was a black pine out there. There's a blackjack oak. There's a lot of oak trees.
If there is a black pine, it's definitely stronger than a white pine.
Yeah, it's definitely listens to cooler
way
music
stronger.
too. It listens to cooler music. It's
Like,
better at basketball.
For all observational purposes, way more muscular and bigger penises. Wait, are we talking about trees?
Black pine's just sinking 3-point shots. It was like, what's going on? Who gave the trees? Who gave the trees basketballs? I don't know why that's funny.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, African Americans have extraordinarily better biology and genetics than I think every other race.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's just differences, but.
Okay, so you said mahogany. You like a mahogany? You like the smell of Douglas firs, like these pines?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just the plants that bring back memories.
I like oak trees.
Yeah.
So you got water oak, black
water oak.
Yeah. So I like a good old oak tree, right? They're strong.
Water oak sounds like a music festival.
Yeah,
that sounds like your fucking grandparents went to in the 70s.
I went to Water Oak, and that's where your grandpappy just violated me.
But I've stayed with him for 37 years afterwards.
Yeah. And he's my oak tree.
I remember Water Oak, and the Doobie Sisters were playing.
Yeah, I remember.
And they were like...
And then there was some making music, and they were really good at jazz. They were just a little darker than everyone. It's like, Grandma, shut the fuck up. Can't say those things.
Oh, gosh.
So, trees. Now, let's move it into what we're going to talk about with trees and plants. With trees, and you've got some favorites. And when it comes to even just plants in general, I have a lot of plants. I like to garden, so I'm a big fan of, plants and nature. They can talk to each other. I once talked to this old Mexican guy working on a power plant, and his name was Beto, and he would sing. And that was basically all he did. He didn't work, but he got paid more than we did. And he said, that trees, they think, and they have a mind. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. He was like, no, have you ever seen a tree that a house or building is nearby it, and there's like a roof or like the edge of the roof coming out, and the tree will grow and then grow around it to get to the sun? And I was like, yeah, it's just trying to get the sun. He goes, but how does it know that? I was like, it's just feeling the sun. He goes, so plants are just feeling things, just going towards them? He goes, they're just like, what, they just feel things? He was like, no, they're thinking. They have a mind. I listened to a whole NPR podcast. I think it was Radio Lab about plants and stuff. And there's this, is it mycelium? Is that what it is?
Yep.
So if you don't mind talking about the mycelium, and then maybe we talk about our connection to nature.
Exactly. I read a book in similarity to that called, I think it's called The Secret Life of Trees. And it's for like the average dumb person or like me.
I'm an average dummy.
And oh, dude, but we're really smart though. Fucking, we're like IQ 7 million, dude. Dude, when I'm smart, I just. If you guys are wondering if we're like having a brain blast or not, it sounds like this.
When I get a good idea, it's the same thing happens when I orgasm.
That's what, you heard it first, here, folks. That's what it sounds like when Tim busts. So the Secret Life of Trees is about how trees basically have this secretive life that most people don't know about, but there's researchers who have researched this for a long time. They communicate to each other. They communicate through scent in the air, releasing scents to other trees to warn other trees of pests. They'll communicate through the soil, through their root systems, which the roots are connecting each tree to each other's roots via fungus, the mycelial network that's in the soil. And this isn't for every tree, but a lot of trees and a lot of forests, especially old growth forests, have this mycelial network connecting trees. And they're connecting trees to the extent that a tree could be cut down and left at the stump, and it will be given nutrients from other trees via the mycelial network, and that stump will stay alive and sprout anew because it's drawing nutrients and being given nutrients from other trees, because it's like the perfect idea of communism or something or whatever.
Hell
like
yeah.
it's
Marxism,
it's
I love
everyone's
that
just helping each other out, and
Yeah.
and it's this network of communication, and the mycelial network is kind of like the internet, like in its complexity. It just, the communication is much slower. So it's not like they can send a nutrient and it will receive by the other tree tomorrow. It might be like in a few days, it might be in a few weeks. Maybe it's in a day. I don't really know how fast that shit happens, but email us if you are a mycelial network and you could inform us on how fast you communicate.
Please, trees.
But I think it's so insane that they communicate, they're conscious, and they're thinking. And I think your friend hit the nail on the head there, that they think, and they are conscious. And in my opinion, that the intelligence of nature and the intelligence of divinity. Bless you. And the intelligence of divinity self-organizes. Nature is a self-organizing intelligence. Like, our bodies are self-organizing. We're not organizing them. There's an intelligence there. It's in the genetics, it's in the soil, it's in the food. But somehow we're defeating the whole premise of entropy. And every second of the existence, you and I, we're not falling apart. The trees aren't falling apart. The fungus isn't falling apart. It's growing. And so there's intelligence, like literal intelligence there, in my opinion. But also my opinion is based off of a lot of these books that I've read.
So that's cool that you're talking about that. I believe it was a Radiolab podcast I was listening to. And something interesting enough, I guess the scientists or the doctors or these fucking smart people that were talking about it. He said the thing that gets people in trouble, because some people hear what we're talking about and they're like, why wouldn't it be?
Right.
I agree. That's badass. Other people are like, oh, just fucking trees are fucking thinking, like they're not conscious. Like people like those kind of things. So
just cut them down.
The botanist, scientist, doctor person said that the hard part of proposing these ideas is staying away. I mentioned a lot of times in intellectual conversations, if you will, about the verbiage we use and how people get stuck on it. It's like, oh, gender. And it's like, oh, well, you just think it's man and a woman and fucking, or everyone thinks it's like the verbiage in the English language messes a lot of things up because other cultures speak correctly and matter-of-factly, and then when they need to have metaphors and similes, they do it, and then it's like beautiful. But English, the verb is so messed up. So it said to stay away from words like using. But I completely agree. I believe trees and plants are conscious. They think, they're intelligent. But he said when he's proposing these ideas to other people to get, let's say, grant money, he's like, he has to stay away from those words. Because they're like, hey, you just said fucking the strawberry tree is fucking, you're trying to fucking, wants to fuck my wife. It's like, strawberries are not trees. It's like, it's a bush in the ground. But, it's
Trying to fuck my wife.
Yeah. Like so you have to stay away from those things.
What if the neighbors are thinking? Oh, the strawberry trees.
Dude, we won't get canceled.
Oh, dude.
We won't get canceled, but the neighbors will hate. And they'll be like, those guys are always talking.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. When it comes to grants and...
But just interesting enough, because I completely agree with you about them being conscious. I think there's...
Oh, it's without a doubt. I mean, anybody who has spent a considerable amount of time in the forest or in woods knows there's an energy there. There's a consciousness. You walk in and you feel this presence, and it like cleanses you, and it's like it's whispering. It's like it's just like Voldemort. He like pops his head out of a tree trunk. Just
dude. If I thought about this earlier, you told the tree mycelium to email us at therenegadesupreme at gmail.com
or at the thekerouaccafe at gmail.com.
What tree in the mycelium network would email us? Which tree do you think would actually do it? Maybe like the monkey pod tree? Just roots.
No, it won't be monkey pod.
No, not the monkey pod.
Dude, it'd be something like
about the
devil's stinkhorn horn mushroom or some shit.
Oh yeah.
It'd be. I'm trying to think of like a goofy ass sassy tree, but whenever I think of any tree, I just think of this like majestic, just like person standing like.
There's the sarsaparilla kind.
I'm a tree.
It'd probably. You know who would email? You know who would email?
Dude, trees are just like fucking.
I remembered.
I'm the best. I was an acorn. Look at how fucking big I am.
They're just these arrogant bastards.
Dude, you bet, dude. Fucking big oak trees like.
Yeah. Oh, I'll fuck.
Like none of you got a big oak tree and they drop acorns. None of their kids become oak trees because that thing's taking up too much space. Yeah. So arrogant.
He's like, I bet all these children they're fucking dying.
It's the narcissistic. Yeah. They're just like, I hope a squirrel grabs those acorns and spreads them because my kids are dying. 99% of their kids are dying. Because they're just dropped. You've seen an acorn.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, acorns are for oak trees, right? Yeah, you see the acorns are just like all over the place. You're stepping on them with your bare feet, like, ow, ow, ow.
Nope.
No, they're just babies that are dead in the plant world.
Exactly right. And pine cones over there fucking with the little pine needles and shit. Fucking being all spiny and like.
When I think about plants, like they're kind of closer to like math than like humans seem to be. Like plants, like when I think of an acorn, it seems like you plant an acorn and it's just like it just becomes the tree. You just give it water, just boom. But humans, you can't do that. You got to raise them and nurture them and influence them and feed them.
Jerked it in the forest one time and covered up with a little nice soil and something never came up.
Exactly.
It never came up.
Yeah.
It don't come up.
Yeah. It's a lot harder to make a human than it is an oak tree.
I think
maybe.
I think trees and plants, trees and plants give us our like fresh oxygen, correct?
Right.
I think so. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And yet we're so like quick to, get rid of things like trees and plants for building infrastructure and buildings for, making our society bigger. In this space book I'm reading right now, it talks about in the space world on these different rocks and moons that they have to create these domes and have air recyclers, and they have a certain water. It's all this chemical, biological stuff. It has to be done to the plants to grow proper food and to have proper air. And it's like, that's the world we're going to go to if we keep, getting rid of these things and disconnecting ourselves from nature.
So you think we're disconnected from nature?
I think we are. I do think that I think that the reason it won't work out for us, like we're not smart enough to get rid of like nature, 90% of nature, and have like these super technologically advanced space societies or on Earth societies, and it won't work because we are still connected through our just biology, physically and chemically. We're connected to nature, but we're staying disconnected.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we can. All these space movies and Star Wars, Star Trek, like we won't actually get there if we keep on the route we're going. We have to stay connected. But the reason we won't make it work is because there is something innate in us. It's this Adam. I think part of the term of the word Adam it meant like earth. Like, and they talk about in the Bible, and they talk about in Proverbs and movies, like from the dust you came and the dust you'll return from the ground. Like we're connected.
Dude, ashes to ashes, we all fall down.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. It's one of my favorites. Ashes to ashes. Yes,
but yeah, keep going.
I don't know the rest of the words.
No, keep going with what you were saying though.
Oh yeah, so I just don't believe. I believe we're disconnected. And we're so quick to, and I talked to my dad. My dad was in wildland forestry and wildland firefighting, and I got into that world as well. And you see things like college book company, and then like animal companies, and they're like, oh, if you do this, we're gonna plant a tree, and it's like that's not a bad thing. However, my dad made a comment. He said, you know what? He's like, I'm not advocating against them planting trees. He goes, but they're planting trees in places that are clear cut. And he goes, what happened is those forests were natural, generally speaking, and they had a certain network and a certain like ecosystem. And us just planting fucking every 5 feet a tree, he goes, that doesn't actually fix what we think.
Right.
It's more of like this like hubris, like, oh well, I help plant trees. They're planting the forest back. No, it takes years and years, whether hundreds, thousands, or millions, to create what that was. Yeah. And it's like just planting a bunch of fucking trees doesn't fix it, you know? Because there's also the understory, there's the overstory, there's places that were all natural that they had a canopy, but it was a short canopy. They were more like shrub. It's like you know what I mean? And they're just like, well, this is native to the area. Just plant it over here. You know?
Right.
And so it was interesting enough. It's like, even sometimes I feel like our relief efforts, you know, our regenerative efforts, the words are hard. I think I think we're very disconnected.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes to fucking garden.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think I agree with you when you say we're disconnected, but we're intrinsically connected.
Yes, that's a
so.
better way to
As
put it.
far as we move away from nature, as disconnected as we get, the worse we become. The worse health wise,
yes,
thriving wise, and I've heard that idea be proposed in like David Attenborough's documentary. It's his eyewitness for climate change, because he's been traveling around the world in very wild places for over like 70 years now, and he's seen the landscapes change. And it's his like eyewitness, and he's seen populations of diverse species disappear. And he's saying that in the documentary that we are one of these diverse species. And as we cause this change, we too are bound to be affected by it. And so we are nature. And so the idea that we're cutting ourselves off from nature is impossible. So
yes.
So if we do cut ourselves off from nature, that's self-suicide, because we are nature. So you can't cut yourself off from nature. Like, I don't think humans could ever be separate from nature. Like, we are Mother Nature, conscious Mother Nature. And if we ever separate from it, we essentially would be dead. We would essentially just would die. We would not be a part of the ecosystem anymore.
I would be sad.
I don't know.
I wouldn't like that.
I don't feel like I'm smart enough to talk about this topic, though, because it just seems so complex.
Well, I think everything we've talked about on every episode, and I think the things we talk about in our daily lives are pretty complex. I believe that we are smart enough. I do believe that there's nothing wrong with getting more knowledge and, challenging the things we've like to learn more. Of course, we should learn more.
Dude, I love knowledging myself.
Knowledging yourself. Do you do it with your right hand or your left hand?
Knowledgering.
Yeah. Knowledge jerking.
Knowledge
jerking.
Dude, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. And
So
that's what the overstory is about.
But I agree with you. We're disconnected. No one gardens anymore. Even our parents, like, you ask them for wisdom, and they're like, I don't know. You got to go to your grandma. But even your grandma's like, it's been a long time. It's like she's either dead or she's like, it's been a long time since I lived back in the boonies, and I knew all these herbs that we would take and how to milk a cow. It's been but then you have to go to her mother, but her mother's dead. But her mother, your if you're alive right now, your grandmother's mother, your great grandmother, has wisdom that likely your generation and your parents' generation don't have. And your grandmother's generation did. Like, it's kind of been lost through the past 100 years through this disconnect, which really is only in developed nations. And most of the world, if we really think about the population of the world, most of the world is actually still connected, because most of the world is still in touch with the soil. Most of the billions of people are still farming.
South America.
Like, there's only how many?
Africa, Asia.
300 million people in America?
Yeah. It's like
nothing, dude.
There's not that many of us.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's why the rest of the world looks at America and they're like, look at those crazy people.
And you guys think you run the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a good point, that there is still so much. Even Alaska, my friend Jacob, me and him and his friends were saving the world at one point a couple weeks ago. But
got famous on some Japanese news.
He just got back from Alaska.
Okay.
Yesterday, and he was showing me and Haley videos, and it's fucking insane how, just vast, and there's really no civilization there.
Yeah.
And it's like there is a lot of land. There's a lot of
undiscovered worlds. Yeah.
I even think that you have to go a couple hundred years ago to find somebody in the Hawaiian Islands that was up in the areas that man has not been, right? To find somebody that's been near or knew somebody that was there, right? You have to go back years to find people, and still there's places that I think 100 years ago, there's maybe people that knew some people that went high up into these areas, these undiscovered crevices and stuff. Because you're talking about a different man, a different generation of human being.
The consciousness of exploring the physical world.
Yeah.
Which is still in us, but we're exploring, we like to explore places already developed, mostly, as humans.
It's easier, right?
Way easier, dude.
And you don't have to garden. You don't have to put any work into it.
You don't need a machete to get to, you just hop in a car.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, imagine being in the world where you're with your friends and you're like, well, let's hike to the top of that and name that after us. Yeah. Whoever gets there first.
Yeah.
It's like you get to the top, Mount Hogan.
So I challenge any listener to buy a star in the galactic universe and name it after us as well. Name it the Renegade Supreme Star.
That's not how it works.
I'm pretty
stars are named by the people who discover them. They're the explorers of the sky.
Yeah, you can buy one.
That's bullshit.
I think they're I think you trade them like fucking baseball cards, I think. I don't know. Yeah, name a star after us. Fuck yeah, name a star after us. Although, also Jacob, on a side note, he was like, so where the fuck has your friend been? He goes, I haven't seen him. He's wants to meet you because...
I want to meet him too. I don't know why I haven't met him yet.
And he thinks the podcast is great.
You talk about him all the time. Then I go to the kava bar and he's not there.
Yeah, one time, he'll be there tonight. We played Catan last night.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, Catan is fun. So trees, the nature, the mycelium. I believe that trees, with I'm in awe of nature, right? And yes, we are. How'd you say intrinsically connected
Yeah.
to nature? One thing that I think we can do to stay more connected is to pick up different like hobbies and like just challenge ourselves to learn new things. One hobby you could do is the basic just go garden. Or let's say you have a long day of work and you go outside to take the trash out and you have to walk through the lawn, even if it's like that St. Augustine fucking whatever grass that's like not native, just go walk outside barefoot in the yard. Change your life. Go climb a fucking tree. Make a swing. Don't get a swing. I mean, if you have a swing set for your kids, make a swing out of with a tire and put it in a tree. It's like a great thing. Do your hammocks. Don't put up like poles and create like this nice hammock thing you got from IKEA, all that gay ass shit. Get like
trees.
Use trees, man.
Trees.
Camp underneath trees. Take your shade to go back inside when you're hot outside. If you find a shade tree, drink your water, eat your lunch underneath there, or your beer, your liquor.
Dude, I think the best activity in the world is to sit under a tree in the shade and imagine something. Just practice imagining things that you want to happen in your life.
Yeah, like titties.
Yeah.
I mean, but for real, like
sure, if you want, but
you're over there imagine titties inside.
Like people, like
fuck it.
You sit under a tree and you imagine how you want the world to be. Like you playfully imagine things. That's what creates the world anew.
Yeah.
You're conversing with God, and the tree's there guiding you as your mentor. The trees, because it's got energy, and it's saying,
they're like messengers.
Yeah,
they're like little.
They like put a little branch. They put a little branch in your ear, and you're like, fucking. Then you're like, I must kill.
Pine cone stuck in the back of your neck. You just download it into the tree world. Just fuck. We need some water. God, I need some water. It has not been sunny lately. This summer sucks right now.
We need some potassium.
Golly, that lady next door is always getting naked. Like, god damn, these trees are dirty.
The trees are really talking to each other. They're like just making fun of you. Look at this guy with that curly ass hair. I bet his ass is whiter than a sheet of paper.
Oh yeah, my ass is white.
Dude, I was hiking a few months ago during the full moon, and I pulled down my pants to give the moon a full moon, and my friend took a picture.
Clever.
and we looked at it, and my ass was brighter and whiter than the moon was in the picture.
Shit.
It was like I had a reflective like those emergency blankets, like the astronaut material my fucking ass is made of. I was like, holy shit, I need to go to like nude beaches and tan my ass.
Oh, absolutely.
I looked like a marshmallow.
Yeah.
That's
not okay.
That's been bleached.
Hey, you need some vitamin D, son.
Dude, are you talking about
son?
Dick? Oh.
No. There are a lot of people in this world that need some D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of men.
Yeah, a lot of men.
Who don't realize it. So go to unrealizedman.com and you'll find out who
is this
you are.
A supporter of us? As long as they're supporting us, I guess I'm okay with it, you know? Yeah, so you need some vitamin D. Another thing is go for a walk.
Yep.
Just around the neighborhood. If you've got like even just being outside. So I think these are ways you can be. This is
just
now.
Take a rock and lick it.
Yeah,
like get those minerals.
Crunch on a fucking rock,
all that
son.
salt, dude. Take some clay. Just
suck on a fucking twig, boy.
Dude, probably good for you.
Crush up some leaves.
As long
in your
as it's not.
fist.
Dude, I've licked bark off of a tree.
Fucking eat a random berry off a plant. No one cares.
Don't
if it's
do that. Do not do that. That's the dumbest thing we've ever said.
Fucking just get one with nature.
Don't eat random things.
Dude, I eat random things.
You do.
I do. And I'm still alive.
Your genetics are the reason humans know what to eat and what not to eat, because your ancestors died. And we were all like, wow, we shouldn't do that.
Haley said, what'd you say, baby? How long do I have to live? 20 years.
It's a long time.
20 years.
It's a lot of fucking.
Yeah, a lot of fucking.
Oh, man.
That's a lot of berry eating from trees.
That's something I want to do is I've always talked about going on foraging classes where they teach you how to know what to eat or what to pick to forage, mushroom foraging, because I know that's kind of confusing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I want to start a garden. I'm hoping we get to move into a new place and start a garden.
If you want us to have a house, please send us money.
I think we are intrinsically connected to nature. Not that we're connected to nature, because when you say we're connected to nature, it sounds like we're separate from nature and there's a connection point. Because I think we're just nature. Like, we are nature.
Oh, very interesting.
And if we're
just a part that can do its own thing.
we've become conscious. And if we separate ourselves from nature, all we've done is killed ourselves.
Yeah.
We've separated ourselves from ourselves. And that's...
Yeah, it's like just taking a handful of soil and just putting it
in a plastic
on the kitchen
container
counter or a plastic bag and just leaving it.
Yeah.
We're separating ourselves.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
We've boxed ourselves in. Not fully, but I think we've just incrementally done it more and more. Mm-hmm. And we're feeling, as a consequence, a lack of thriving as a culture, at least the culture of modern society that has separated itself from nature, feels the effect, the lack of vibrancy, energy, mental acuity, increased stomach issues and digestive problems, and all these autoimmune things, chronic health issues that are affecting younger and younger kids and generations. Of 1 in 2 kids, I'm pretty sure right now, have chronic health problems, which is ridiculous. But this could be seen as it's a result of the separating ourselves from who we really are. And so this idea of gardening or going back into nature, walking, licking a tree or whatever, it's not like you're reconnecting yourself with nature and that's good, because it's that you're reconnecting yourself with yourself. And as a result, you revitalize, and it feels good. Like, it feels good. Like, gardening, it's not something your grandma does because she's like, I was always told to garden and I'm just doing it because I don't think for myself. No, she does it because it feels good.
Yeah.
She does it because there's like,
feels good.
She gets dopamine release. She's happy. She's consistently happy. She's healthier.
Working at D, so she out there working at dirt.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The vitamin D, from the sun and from the dirt.
From the dirt, yeah.
And from the dirty man.
That's you're right though. I like how you're putting that. We're just reconnect. For some reason, I thought about when you're hungover and you drink water, you're like, oh my gosh, the miracle drug. You're just like, what our bodies are like a huge percentage of water. Like, we're just putting ourselves into ourselves. We're fucking ourselves, and it's great.
Yep.
Like, consensually. When you unconsensually, then you're just separating yourself. Yeah. Also, there is data from RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, that talks about after 1988, that's when a huge, like, uptick, uproar, influx, whatever the word is, of diseases, health issues came about in the generations. And it was funny, as me and my wife were listening to this one day. He was talking on a podcast. He was like, yeah, after 1988, and she goes, and she's got some health issues. And I was like, when were you born? She was like, 92. And I was, because all the things she talked about, like, doesn't bother me. Right. Like, I don't, and I was like, I was born fucking 88. So it was weird because it felt like at that moment when you listen to it, that it was completely true. And I was like, oh shit, maybe he's.
I've heard that before too. And I've heard we started a lot of use of pesticides in like around 1996, which is the year I was born.
Oh shit.
And I also dealt with very similar problems or a lifetime of health issues and learning about those. But I mean, it's the nature of America.
You said it sucks?
Sucks. We should get Haley on the podcast. Yeah, have an episode on that.
Oh, yeah. Baby, come here right quick.
We'll have to do an episode with her. Just like we talk about...
We'll do it. She's not going to come.
Yeah, I know.
No, we're not in the bedroom.
She's going to come and throw something at you.
Please don't throw anything at me. Say hello. You should ought to pick around so everyone can see you on the video and show your.
You don't have to, Haley, if you don't want to.
She has to. I'm the man.
Don't listen to Tim. He's crazy.
I don't want a wet willy.
That sounds like you do.
Yeah, but I'll get a little silly.
It's Neville.
Oh, dude, the whole family's
Neville.
out here.
Come here, Nevy.
Dude,
Neville.
this is great.
Am I part of your family now?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I hope I could be like Neville and just get free food all the time.
Just get free food.
And, like cheese handed to
Dude,
me.
I scratch his ass. So.
Dude, I don't know if I want that. I mean, I think I do, but I just don't want to admit that on camera.
Oh yeah. So we.
So I think we could chat about that too, in a whole nother episode. But I mean, it's an interesting idea that maybe in the 80s and the 90s there was something that happened.
Yeah.
And we started spraying pesticides, more chemicals, and it affected the soil, and that affected the food, and then it affected the animals in our food supply. Then it affected the inflammation in our guts, and then
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day,
Because we have that tree plant network, we have that shit inside.
We got
that
that
ecosystem inside our gut. You're the one that taught me that.
In my larger perspective, after having gone through a journey of health issues and then coming out the other side healthier than before, I think, and we probably have to frame it this way in order to not like lose our sanity, but I think these things, using these chemicals and fucking up shit, is us experimenting, is us going on this adventure of what would happen if we produce all these chemicals and tried to manipulate nature. And fuck, that was not good for us.
Right.
And then as a result,
A lot of people died.
or no one's dying, but we're all just living miserably. And as a result, we come to newer conclusions of things that are true that benefit everybody. Because in many ways, my healing journey has been a spiritual journey. Like it's been inseparable. So, I always like to connect. It's like the suffering in life usually leads to the realizations.
Yeah, no pressure, no diamonds, right?
No pressure, no diamonds.
Constraint can breed creativity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
I'm very hesitant to go to anything and be like, oh, that's where the problem started. Because once you do that, I believe you put the power outside of yourself.
Right.
So you could say the problem started when, Adam ate the apple.
Yeah.
You could say the problem started when the first bacteria formed.
Right.
But that's the chaos and the order thing. There will always be a problem. It never ends.
We just got to try to solve them. Or we got to...
Well, no, you have
just
to...
got to live in
You
them.
kind of have to just
Be a part of it?
You have... I think you have to look at a problem and decide there is no problem, and then it dissolves.
Dude.
And still do what you would have to do to fix it, but in your head be like, it's gone.
You just fucking quoted The Matrix.
Yeah.
There is no spoon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There is no spoon.
Well, I think solving problems perpetuates problems.
Yes.
So if you have a problem, let's say,
Math sucks. Skip math class.
Okay, let's say there's a coffee we're trying to develop and we're sipping it. It tastes like ass, and it's like, that's a problem. And so you go, well, let's fix this, and then we fix it, and then, but this is wrong with it, and then we fix that. Oh, but this is wrong with it, and then we fix that, and then we get it right, but then we market it, and that, like, the problems never end. And I don't think that's a bad thing or a good thing. It's just how life seems to work. As soon as you level up, as soon as you get to another level of understanding, another level of mediocrity, another level of income, another level of maturity, there's a whole new set of problems, and it never ends. And that's the eternal growth. I think that's the eternal development of the soul. That's just, we constantly are developing, and so is Earth. So like to go back to one point, because a lot of people I think like to do this nowadays. I've heard it in podcasts wherever. It's 1985 is when they developed the first dildo, and that inspired the man to create the first pesticide, and that inspired. But it's like, you can't go back. It's kind of like original sin or whatever. You can't go back to the first problem. You can't go. It's intrinsic to our reality that this isn't a perfect world.
Right, and that's how it is.
That's how it is.
You can spend your time to figure out about it, and that's fine, but that's not solving the problem. And we're not solving a problem, we're living. Living is the solution.
Yeah.
Living within it and living...
Ooh! Living is the solution. I love that, dude.
I'm out, bitches.
Yeah. Mic drop.
But yeah, so...
living is the... Well, yeah, it's like the acceptance that life is imperfect is the solution.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That sometimes you just feel like nothing's going to work out, and that's okay. And once you accept that during those points in time where you're feeling low, you move on to another level of, well, sometimes things are good, and then sometimes things are great. And it's this constant cycle, like even if you perfected everything in your life, like you had a Lamborghini and a mansion and a picket fence, and, you know, if you're a woman, you got 7 men who serve you, you know, with their dicks out always.
Hell.
Right? I like to flip it around a little bit sometimes.
Hell.
It's just like a woman ruling the world. You're still going to be like, fucking someone scratched my car. You know?
It's like, bitch.
You're gonna be like, oh, he was rude to me at the coffee shop today. Like, you're still gonna run in to challenges. And I don't want to say they're problems anymore, because they're just challenges at the end of the day. Challenging you to ask you how divine you are, how godlike you are, how loving can you be in the midst of all these challenges. Someone walking up to you and just shouting at you, and can you keep your peace? Can you access peace in any way?
'Cause you have to navigate. You have to work your way through a challenge, right? You have to work through it and with the challenge.
You have to learn something.
So like you said, no longer a problem, no longer about this idea of original sin. Whether it's true, that doesn't matter. It's imperfect, and you got to work through the challenges. And that is accepting that imperfectness, and then that's just living, and that's just being. And goddamn it, just fucking walk outside barefoot. Fucking eat some leaves, dude, off of any tree. It doesn't matter.
Just cover yourself in mud.
Dude, fucking stick a palm fucking frond right up your fucking sphincter, boy. Bag up, bitch.
No.
It's like, you're not doing it. I'm going to do it.
That sounds painful, dude.
I don't know. You're just supposed to experiment a little, you know, figure it out. You know what I mean? What gender are you?
And then you
stick
find
that palm frond right up there.
And you find out, life is about growth. It's about creation. And it's about creating new things and growing into something new.
And that's what nature's doing all the time. That's what we're doing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And maybe the disconnect is when we stop.
Ourselves.
Is when we stop growing and creating. Oh shit, boy, smart as a motherfucker.
Why would
I feel like we are smart.
I feel like we're pretty smart. We're just smart in a quirky way.
Well, we're just figuring it out for ourselves. There's a lot of this stuff that everybody has in them intrinsically. Like, it's innate.
Yeah.
And to vocalize it is a very helpful thing. It's also a learning thing. Like, we are learning while we're doing this, which is really cool. It's just really cool about
That's what, and we got to start getting like really smart people on the podcast, so everyone thinks that we are as smart as we think we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, stay connected to the ground. Eat some dirt. Just take a spoon out into the garden and chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah, get a
Not
hand.
if there's shit sprayed in your garden.
No, get a whole bunch of dirt and soil in your hand,
dude.
And fucking rub it on your fucking neck, boy.
Dude, when I had really bad acne and I was trying everything under the sun.
You're just rubbing dirt on your face?
Well, no, because I tried. First off, we'll have to have a whole podcast about this, because I had like really bad severe acne for like 4 or 5 years, and I tried like every product on the shelf, like everything, like the dermatologist recommended. None of it worked, and so then I went a natural route, and I tried like smearing papaya on my face and honey and cinnamon and turmeric.
Fruit face, boy.
I was walking around my house. My parents was like, "What the fuck is on your face?" And one day I tried dirt. I was like, maybe I just need dirt. Didn't work at all. I just got dirt in my pores.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But and actually, it actually worked better than some of the products, which would cause me to break out. Though with the dirt, did nothing. So first do no harm, I guess. So someone should just bottle dirt and sell it because it'll work better.
It will. Dude, that's fucking fuck. One day, I'd like to have a podcast where we talk about your health problems.
They're not my health problems.
No,
because I'm healthy right now.
The things that plagued you in the past.
My past, the history of past Sean's suffering, which doesn't exist, but
you've mentioned it on every podcast that you're like, oh, you like.
I'd say it's more. We'll call it the journey to thriving.
Well, I don't know what those health problems like were, but I don't want you to say it now because I love the mystery.
We'll do an
I think
episode
you got like
on
3 willies or like 12 toes.
Oh, I got 2 nipples.
I mean,
for sure.
I feel like you got maybe like a second.
Yeah,
nose
we could talk about it
on a podcast. I think
that's
because then
thing.
your specific health problems, and we'll talk about mine because I got health problems too. Mental health. I like to fuck. I like to fuck a lot.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I like to fuck. I don't know.
Nothing wrong
I
with
don't
it.
like to fuck animals or anything like that.
I wanted to say this earlier when you're bringing up fucking. We were talking about aliens. I think. You know how like alien movies are all like aliens are gonna come kill us.
Yeah,
I think that's a in brain stem thought for humans that come from our fight or flight brain, where we're still afraid of being hunted by a predator. And I think actually in reality, aliens are probably like the chillest motherfuckers, dude.
They just smoking weed all day.
Well, they're probably just like high on life, but I would say they probably would come to Earth and they're just always fucking. Like they're just like
always fucking. Dude, Alf. Did you ever watch Alf?
And I bet they're more similar to us than we would want to admit, but I think like they probably figured out some stuff in their societies where there's such little conflict that they could work together to invent some crazy ass stuff. And if they're that intelligent, they're probably super chill. They're probably all like Yoda or something, where you meet them and humans are like, don't kill me. And they're like, I have not come to kill you. I've come to share with you. Fire, sex, condoms. It's amazing.
I would, dude, Alf. Watch Alf.
What's Alf?
You never heard of Alf?
You mean Elf with
Alf.
William Ferrell?
No, Alf, dude. It's an old story about an alien that came down and lived with these humans.
Oh.
But he was chill as fuck.
Sounds
He was kind of a troublemaker because he wanted to party and just have a good time.
It's like E.T.
Yeah. Except for Alf is much cooler. Alf is much cooler.
And I was scared of E.T. as a kid, dude.
It's older. Alf is older than me and E.T. is older than me, but I watched Alf when I was a kid. And then we watched E.T., but
what if Earth was like the party planet?
Earth is like fucking USC or Florida State or something like that. It's the fucking
the aliens are like, we're going to Earth for the summer vacation, and all the other aliens are like, check out the Hudsons. They're going to fucking Earth.
Yeah,
you know they're gonna have another baby when they get back here. They're gonna have another one of them Earth babies, dude. Fucking shit. Oh, she's going to get fucked by an earthling for sure. And they're going to come back and we're going to have to act like he's normal. Yeah. But all the while, we're going to know he's got dirty earth blood on him. That's where the saying, I smell the blood of an Englishman came from.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Let's get violent with it, son. The blood, boy.
James, the fucking, the beanstalk man.
Bag up.
James, the giant, who's the fucking, it's the... Fuck, there's the beanstalk, and then there's the dude at the top of the beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk?
Yeah. There's a giant in the sky.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, there's the giant
and
in
he
the sky.
smells, I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Gigante verde estás aquí.
Who is the guy in the sky? The bean man?
I think Jack is a little fucking gay boy trying to get up on that fucking stalk. And then I think he gets to the top and realizes ain't really much up there except for just one long cock.
I thought when he gets to the top of the beanstalk, there's like a dude up there.
There's a giant?
Yeah, there's
Jack
a giant.
And a giant beanstalk?
Oh, is there no giant?
I don't know.
Dude, I haven't heard
I just know about the green giant on that can. That green bean can.
I don't know why in my brain I'm picturing like a green giant.
It might be.
At the top of the
beanstalk. Because there's like the magic fucking beans or whatever that grow to fucking... You know, that fucking shit, the magic marbles or some shit, the magic fucking beans and the peas. Fucking, I don't know.
We've lost our marbles.
Well, dude, I feel. What time do we start?
I don't know. We should stop it though.
We started around 3:00. It's 5:00 now.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So yeah, fucking go outside and
keep your
get
magic,
connected to nature.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Keep your magic beans.
Keep your magic beans.
Yeah.
Stay connected to nature. Renegade Supreme. Check us out on the Renegade Supreme YouTube channel. Is that right? Because this one will be, I don't know what I can say.
Check us out. We're on YouTube now.
Oh, yeah.
Check us out on...
We're on YouTube.
YouTube.com/Renegade Supreme.
And what was the email for... please donate to Patreon. Give us fucking green tree money. And
I'll be Tim for... money.
Money.
You know, it was a really funny thing. I was watching YouTube 2 nights ago, and an ad came up, and the fucking first word was like, money. it was a lawyer ad.
Took it from us.
It was for the fires. It was like, you've been robbed of money. It was like, it was so funny because it was this like Southern white guy who looked like he came straight out of like devil camp.
And he's Devil's Camp, Mississippi.
He's like, I know you lost money, and I want you to get your money back. And he kept saying money like you do. And I was like, dude, is this guy like watching the podcast?
Thing. It's a white Southern thing. I like that.
It's just white Southern men all get around at the church table, and they're just like throwing coins, and they're shouting money.
My name's Hank Jensen, and I'm here coming from Devil's Camp, Mississippi, and I'm a lawyer pretty well versed in the law terms. And if you lost your house in that fire and you need to get a house where your wife can start cooking for you again, and you need kitchen pots and pans, come to me, we'll get you money. It was something like that. Hank Jensen, yeah, right here.
And the percentage is like, we'll only take 99% of the...
Our fee is not that much, just everything you got, even the fucking draws on your rear end, fucking black ass, on charred ass, I'm sorry. Money! Money!
Yeah, wearing a cowboy hat. They're not cowboys either.
He's German.
They're born in law school.
He's a Blurman. It's a black German. But I guess that calls it. Yeah, check us on Patreon, Substack at Texan 12.
www. Money.com.
Money.com. If you're going to go there and look at fucking bills, send them back our way. Then check us out on Spotify or the other ones. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to, you can go straight to the source, Red Circle.
Yeah.
But check us out. Thank you. All right, guys. Shoots out.
Peace.
Oh, shit. That was a lot.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to cut it a little shorter because I got like ravenously hungry about an hour and a half in, and I just could not stop thinking about food.
You did a good job. Oh, this
like my stomach this whole time has been like, I'm hungry. Then we started talking about dirt, and I was like, oh, dude.
Oh, God, I'm getting off.
I want some dirt, dude.
I was mentioning Socrates. Plato.
Dude,
he wrote about Socrates.
Socrates nuts, dude.
Socrates nuts. You fucking bastard.